J space. Got to do number 2. It's Clemson.
Welcome back to Beallsville. Monroe Central had a 4th down and 5 at the 5, and it looks like Beallsville defense stopped them right there. Monroe Central had a big play. Michael Joris to Adam Conrad to set up this 4th down, but they couldn't punch it in from the 7-yard line. You see they try a little trick play right there, but couldn't get it in.
Well, they faked the reverse, but a big defensive play by Ryan Kinsey, who came up and made the tackle on Adam Jones at the line of scrimmage, or pickup of a yard. So Beallsville will now take over deep in their own territory.
This is a big momentum swing, Jeff. I mean, Caldwell lining under the center right now. With this offense, they could just march right up the field. A little run up the middle by number 9, Ryan Kinsey, who just made the big stop on the 4th down.
And a very nice pickup on 1st down. He's going to get nearly to the 10-yard line, so a 6-yard pickup. And when you're a passing team, you can pick up this much yardage by running the ball. That just makes passing that much more effective.
And boy, do they have a passing game. I mean, you got Trevor Schaefer on one end. You got Dylan on the other. You got a nice running back in Augenstein in the backfield. Looks like he's lining up in a shotgun. Chris Caldwell from a shotgun got a man in motion, and he's going to take it around the side. But a big stop by Monroe Central's defense. That's Aaron Cease with the big stop in the backfield.
We talk a lot about Chris Caldwell's ability to throw the football, but he also will run it quite a bit. That time he didn't fool, particularly Aaron Cease defensively, and made the play. He's going to lose some yardage back to about the 5-yard line. So this is going to bring up a 3rd and long for Beallsville.
All right, the team's coming up. They got a 3rd down and 8 from the 5-yard line. That was a big stop by Monroe Central, Aaron Cease. Caldwell under center. Makes it, and it looks like he's going to go deep downfield. Got a man open, and I think the ref ruled it a catch around the 20-yard line.
That's Travis Dillon. Did a nice job of getting a foot down over just past the 1st down marker, and that will be a 1st down, it looks like, for Beallsville as they get out of trouble.
This is high school. You only need 1 foot down, not like the pros where you have to bring 2 feet down, so that really helped out.
I think Rich is going to bring that back and say that was incomplete. He did not get a foot down. So that's going to bring up 4th down now, and Beallsville will have to punt it away.
4th down and 8 from the 5-yard line, and looks like Caldwell is back to punt. So Monroe Central is going to get another opportunity to try to punch it in. They were already inside the 10-yard line and couldn't get it up before. Caldwell, nice punt. It's going to be fielded around the 40-yard line. That is Adam Conrad up 3 or 4 yards to around the 34-yard line.
The ball just about got through his hands, but he was able to hold on and fall forward and get a couple yards. But Monroe Central, and that change of field position is in their favor, and they're going to take over Beallsville's 34-yard line in real good shape for their 2nd possession.
Now the Seminoles have the momentum. They got the ball in pretty good territory. I mean, they're all the way up into Beallsville's 34-yard line. So anything can happen right here. They had a big play before. They're usually a running team. They had a nice long pass to get him inside there before. He's going to hand it off to the young guy, Gordon, for maybe 1 yard. Excuse me, that wasn't Gordon. That was... Got about a yard on that play. But this Beallsville defense, besides that one long play, they're pretty much stopping this run. Monroe Central hasn't been able to do pretty much anything on the ground right now.
And, Beallsville's not a particularly big team across that defensive front. People will notice that the quarterback, Chris Caldwell, plays middle guard or down lineman on defense. Not a combination you see a lot of.
Joris with the pitch. Yeah, no running room right there. Kinsey on a big stop. That's going to be a loss of 2 for Christopher Wilson, trying to get the outside, but just too many Beallsville defenders right there on top of him.
two people from the secondary doing a great job coming up there, Schaefer and Kennedy making that play. And as you called, stuff it for a loss of a couple, maybe 3 yards. So that's going to create a 3rd and 11.
3rd and 11 from the 35-yard line. Just about 6 minutes left in this first quarter. Jason Acosta's team has Joyce under center, and he's going to pass. He got all kind of time back there, and he has a guy wide open, but it's dropped by Conrad. He had the first down, but couldn't pull that pass in.
Looks like we're now on 4th down at the 35-yard line. Monroe Central has chosen to punt the ball and try to get the Devils down inside their own 10-yard line, and again, make that offense have to go a long distance to get to the end zone.
Do you think Sir Costa was tempted to maybe go for it because of such good field position, or was he just afraid of how explosive this offense is that they could just march down the field and score?
You hate to turn the ball over at this position on the field, so I think if it had been shorter yardage, yes, they may have, but 11 to go, you punt.
The freshman Gabe Gordon with a nice punt inside the 5-yard line. That's going to be down about the 2 or 3-yard line. That was a spectacular punt by Gordon to pin those guys deep in their own zone again.
Well, one thing I noticed when you walk out on the field for last weekend in October is really a thick coat of grass down there, especially on the side. And that ball got on the sideline to the right and hit into that heavy grass and was able to die. So that's going to put Beallsville now at their own 3-yard line after starting their initial possession at their own 4-yard line.
All right, it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils around the 3-yard line. Caldwell looks like he's in a shotgun. No, he moves up under center, and he's going to take it up the middle, trying to get any yards that he can to get some kind of room back there to prevent the safety. He gets maybe 1 or 2 up the middle.
Nothing fancy out of the defensive or the offensive play call there. Again, send Caldwell, who's your runner, and a very nice runner on a quarterback sneak, enable him to get about 2 yards and just give yourself a little bit of breathing room.
We got a 2nd down and 8 from around the 5-yard line. Caldwell got a couple guys lined up to the side of him, and he's fakes the handoff, poised back there, and he's going to go deep. He has a guy wide open, but a great play by Gordon. No flags on the play. He had Dillon. He needed about another 2 feet, and this would have been a big touchdown for Beallsville. But they had Monroe Central had 2 guys there, one of them being the freshman Gordon, who really helped out to prevent the big gain.
That's real nice coverage by a freshman. Also, the ball was well thrown by Chris Caldwell, and Dillon ran a good pattern and was there, and just, fingertipped by the defensive back, Gordon. That's going to bring up 3rd and 8. But you have a real fine play with a freshman guarding a senior.
Okay, we got a 3rd and 8 to game scoreless, so about 4:50 left in the first quarter. Caldwell going to pass again. He trips up. Now it's going to be a big loss for Caldwell.
He's in the end zone, Rich. That's going to be a safety.
That is going to be a safety.
Looked like he stumbled
Caldwell
and went down, so that's going to be an early lead for Monroe Central.
So this is a huge momentum change for the Seminoles. A big safety with 4:45 left in the game in the first quarter to give the Seminoles the 2-0 lead. All right, we'll be right back after this. The Seminoles just called a timeout. Stick around. Welcome back to Beallsville, where the Blue Devils are trailing Monroe Central 2-0. Monroe Central, big play. Caldwell tripped in the end zone, and they touched him for the safety. So right now they have the early lead and had the momentum pretty much the whole first part of this first quarter.
Well, Monroe Central's controlled the field position. They're going to put their 3rd possession in play once again, Beallsville territory. And that safety also is a direct responsibility or credit to the freshman Gabe Gordon's punt that rolled dead deep in Blue Devil territory.
What a great punt. Right now, Monroe Central has 3 backs. George is going to pass, and he's looking for a guy deep and just overthrows him. great coverage on that play. He was looking for Conrad, but just overthrew the ball just a little bit too much. But that was just great coverage by Beallsville.
And Trevor Schaefer on the coverage. He was with Conrad step for step. Between Conrad and Schaefer, you probably have two of the faster players on the field, and they were right with each other on that play. They really more good coverage than anything else.
So far, Monroe Central, great field position this game. On punts and kickoffs, they got the ball 2nd and 10 around the 46. Joris is going to pass, and Trevor Schaefer comes up with a big interception, the dive interception. It was intending for Adam Conrad. Joris has been looking for him all night, and Trevor Schaefer was right there to make the interception. Momentum, Beallsville.
Well, Schaefer just taking a gamble on that play and going for all or nothing there, and he was able to make a great diving interception. And now Beallsville will hurry up and go to the line without a huddle to try to catch Monroe Central off guard.
That's what they're trying to do, catch him off guard. Caldwell going deep, got Trevor Schaefer wide open. Not wide open. Great coverage by Conrad, but he had him open there for a second, just overthrew him. I think Schaefer got caught up behind Conrad and couldn't get around him to make the catch.
Also, Eric Brown in coverage there for Monroe Central, number 20. But you see happen there what teams will do a lot, and particularly both these coaches, and in this case Dave Caldwell, after the early turnover, going for a big play, faking an end around, and then having Chris Caldwell throw the ball deep, and this time it just didn't hook up.
Well, that's
just like to go for that big play after a turnover.
That's a smart move by Caldwell, because you could just put him away after that. You go to a big play when the defense is down. He has Kinsey on the sideline, maybe 5 or 6 yards, maybe 4. Going to bring him up to about the 45. So they're looking at a 3rd down right here.
Yeah, we've played better than 8 minutes of the game. That's Chris Caldwell's first completion. And this is a young man that's thrown for over 1,800 yards this year. But a nice play by the linebacker, number 22, T.J. Stevens. Monroe Central, with all their youth, both their linebackers are sophomores, but that's a real nice play.
1,861 yards to be exact, 13 touchdowns on the season, and only 5 interceptions. Beallsville had to call a timeout with a 3rd down and 7 around the 44-yard line. Monroe Central has pretty much been winning this field position, the game of pretty much field position right now, and they couldn't punch it in, around the 5-yard line. They had a 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. They couldn't get in early in the game, but they did get a safety, and they lead this game 2-0 with about 3:36 left in the 1st quarter.
Well, Beallsville's offense has really, been held in check thus far. They have not recorded a single 1st down yet, and as we said, that last pass play was their first completion. So I'm sure they're not going to panic. They've been in this situation before. They're averaging a lot of points, about 33 points a game, and been over 40 points on numerous occasions this year. So, they're not going to panic just because a couple possessions don't go their way. Dave Caldwell's been down the road enough times to know that 2-0 score still in the 1st quarter. His passing attack is 1 play away from having his team in the lead.
Jeff, what do you think Dave was just telling his quarterback in the huddle right there during that timeout?
They may have changed their mind on a call like that. It may have been something they were going to decide to go a little bit shorter to pick up the 1st down rather than go downfield for the big play.
Caldwell fakes the handoff. He's looking for a receiver. And that's Aaron Seat in the backfield again. Another huge stop. That's his 2nd of the game for a big loss. Caldwell had a little time back there, but not too much. Aaron Seat's coming from the outside with the big sack and loss. So now Caldwell's probably going to have to punt here.
Yeah, this is 4th down. Chris Caldwell will go back in this kind of situation. I'm sure it's going to be a kick, even though you have to worry about the fake. But here he'll need to get off a good punt, try to turn the field position.
So Monroe Central probably going to get good field position once again. Christopher Wilson. Nice return all the way in Beallsville territory. Going to get it around the 45, 44-yard line. That was a nice return by Wilson.
It's right up the middle, and if not for Chris Wells of Beallsville, Wilson may have been able to take that one clear to the end zone.
Yeah,
so
it looked like that was a nice stop by Beallsville. It looked like he had all kind of running room. I was expecting him to take it all the way.
Well, normally on a punt return, you go either to the right or the left. Wilson just picking a path right up the middle of the field. It may have caught Beallsville a little flat-footed, but an excellent return in Beallsville territory.
Joris has 3 backs, and he's going to pass. He has Adam Jones wide open with a nice gain all the way up the sideline to around the 25-yard line. That was a big pickup for Adam Jones, and now it's going to be first down for Monroe Central around the 25-yard line and threatening to score once again.
Some nice variety in the Monroe Central play call. They're going to put him down just a little short there, closer to the 27-yard line, but a 17-yard pickup. Again, Monroe Central really does not look like the team that has struggled offensively. They've really taken everything and almost looks like what you'd expect out of the Beallsville offense.
Joris coming out of the huddle under center. First and 10 at the 27. Hands it off. The fullback right up the middle. Gain of probably 1 or 2. It's Gabe Gordon, the freshman. Couple yards on that play. But Beallsville has done a pretty good job stopping the run so far throughout the first quarter.
Just enough yardage, though, by Monroe Central with their running game to make Beallsville honor it. And 2 big completions in the game. 2 of 6 passing thus far, but those 2 completions have went for 68 yards.
All right, it's 2nd and 6 around the 22-yard line. Fakes it to the back and hands it off, but Beallsville's defense is there again. Might pick up a couple yards on that play, maybe about 5.
Wilson able to get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe get a yard. Joe McNear, the linebacker, had a hold of his ankles, and getting a little bit of help from Shriver to finish that play after a short pickup.
So it's going to be 3rd and 4 at the 20-yard line. 1:30 and ticking for Monroe Central. Jace Costa's team, pretty young team he has out there. As a freshman and a few sophomores playing. Fakes the handoff and goes to Wilson coming around the corner, who doesn't get the first down. So it's going to be a 4th down for Jace Costa's team.
Real good penetration off the defensive front by Shriver. I believe he may have had a hand on Wilson's foot to slow him down, and he's only able to get back to about the line of scrimmage, 20. That's going to bring up a 4th, about 3.
You think they might go for it here?
No question from the 20-yard line. In high school football, this is a little long to be thinking about a field goal. Neither one of these teams has had a successful field goal kick during the year, so 4th and 3, not much question. You go for it and try to get the first down.
Joris back to pass on 4th down and 3. Has Conrad wide open, and it looks like he's just going to walk into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. 8-0. Monroe Central before the extra point attempt. He had all kind of time back there. Saw Conrad cut across the middle and hit him. The play worked perfectly.
That's a wide receiver screen. Conrad catching the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Able to catch it there. Lineman allowed downfield because the ball's caught behind the line of scrimmage. And really didn't need a lot of blocks because there really weren't very many blue shirts in the area. And Conrad sprinting to the end zone. And, I think this Beallsville crowd's in shock.
Yeah, it is a shocker here in Beallsville. Right now, Monroe Central leads 8-0. 20-yard play from Joris to Conrad for the easy touchdown. He just waltzed right into the end zone. No guys in the middle of the field of Beallsville.
They're worried more about the outside receivers, and Conrad started the outside and going back to the middle of the field, and just really nice play. And a kid that has as much speed as what Conrad has, able to just sprint down there, and as I said earlier, get to the end zone.
That was a gutsy call on 4th and 3.
Here's the replay, Rick. You see behind the line of scrimmage, Conrad just running there and really untouched from the time he caught the ball all the way to the end zone.
That was a gutsy call on 4th down and 3, don't you think?
Well, it's something different. I think it just caught Beallsville off guard. Chris Yoho to attempt the extra point from place.
Yoho trying to make it 9-0, and he does. Puts it right in the middle. Monroe Central with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Just made it 9-0. It's a shocker in Beallsville at Blue Devil Field. What do you think Coach Dave Caldwell is going to tell his offense right now?
Well, I think he has to tell the offense, and in particular his quarterback, his nephew Chris Caldwell, is don't panic. We're still in the first quarter. There's a lot of football left to be played, and I don't think he feels like the Monroe Central shut them down for the whole game on that. But, that extra point kick right there by Yoho is very, very big because at 9-0 means that Beallsville now has to score 2 times in order to take the lead. So as we get later in the game, game, get in the second half, we may go back and remember that as a very, very key extra point kick.
Pretty much with these two teams, you can throw the records out the door. Even though Monroe set 2-7, they're leading Beallsville, who is 8-1, only one loss on the season. That was the Shady side. Right now it's 9-0 Seminoles. And this Beallsville crowd has really shocked everyone sitting down before the game. Everyone was cheering, and right now everyone's shocked to see that score up on the scoreboard.
They're on a pretty good roll. They haven't lost since the third week of the season when they lost the Shady side. They've had things pretty much the right way and have beaten some very good teams. Back-to-back weeks they beat unbeaten Fry and Shenandoah. So, but they've been behind before. They trailed early last week, Buckeye Trail on that. So they've been here before. So, as I said, I don't think they're going to panic.
Monroe Central set the kickoff. That is Gordon, and it's going to roll into the end zone, so it will be a touchback.
Just, I'd say, some miscommunication back there. The deep back on the outside didn't drop back, and really Chris Caldwell took a little bit of a gamble there to let that ball hit the ground. Let a kick football bounce. You can't be guaranteed what direction it's going to go, but fortunately for him, it rolled into the end zone, which will bring it out to the 20-yard line. And believe it or not, that's Beallsville's best starting position on a possession in this game.
I've watched this team play a couple times this year, and I expected this offense to do some great things so far. If someone would have asked me the score, I would have said it would have been 9-0 the other way. Right now, Monroe Central leading this game 9-0. Caldwell hands it off up the middle. That's Kinsey, a couple yards on that play. So it's going to bring up a second down for this offense.
Well, your earlier comment there about not believing this would be the score here near the end of the first quarter. Don't underestimate the value of a rivalry game, how much it means to the kids on both sides of the ball. And, the old cliche, if anything can happen, we've seen thus far. And we'll see if Beallsville is able to get the play off here as the clock's winding down.
I don't think we'll be able to get it off. 1 second left, and time expires in the first quarter. Monroe Central leads Beallsville 9-0 at Blue Devil Stadium. And this has been a game of field position so far. Monroe Central had the good field position, had an opportunity to even put more points on the board and couldn't convert a fourth down. Right now the score is 9-0. We're going to start the beginning of the second quarter right after this. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Beallsville. We're at Blue Devil Stadium where the Blue Devils are hosting Monroe Central. Right now, Monroe Central leads the game 9-0 at the start of the second quarter. Beallsville will have a 2nd and 7 at the 23-yard line. What do you expect them to do, Jeff?
Well, they're not going to do anything differently than what they've done all year. It's very unusual, though, to find Beallsville playing a quarter of football and be negative yardage.
On second down is just going to roll left, and he's tripped up by Preston Kilborn, making a nice tackle on the far side.
But that's just the options. The first time we have seen that tonight. Kilburn doing a nice job of getting in there and making the play after the short pickup. But about 3 or 4 yards on the play, so this is a 3rd and about 4. So this is a better situation than what Beallsville has been in thus far.
That was a big tackle by Kilburn to save him from maybe breaking it long. And definitely he had the first down. Now it's going to bring up 3rd and 4 at around the 26-yard line. Caldwell under center, got a man in motion. And we got a flag. It was a quick handoff to Kinsey, but there's a flag in the backfield.
That's an illegal shift ball against Beallsville. They had 2 men moving at the time, and they did not reset. So, the head official here tonight, Keith Bloom, explaining it to the Devils in the huddle, and that's going to take away a first down run by Kinsey. He was able to get out near the 40-yard line, which would have been the biggest offensive play of the game, but it's now going to back him up 5 yards and will make it a much more difficult 3rd and 9 play.
3rd and 9. Deep in Monroe Central territory around the 20-yard line. Exactly, the 20-yard line is where Beallsville's going to have the ball at the 21. 3rd down and 9. It just was 3rd down and 4. But an illegal shift penalty makes it 3rd down and 9. Caldwell back in the shotgun.
And this changes up short to a passing play from a running play.
Caldwell looking for a guy, but just throws behind Trevor Dillon. But there was all kinds of Central guys in that area.
Well, Schaefer and Dillon were both there a lot more white shirts in the area. I believe Dylan was the intended receiver, but was just a little bit behind him and underthrown. So once again, Beallsville forced the punt out of first down. They still do not have a first down this game and will still have negative yards. It's worth 10:53 remaining in the first half.
Well, Caldwell's going to have to punt. It could have, that last play could have almost been picked off. There was a lot of guys in the area, but he has two pretty good receivers. This is a nice punt to about the 45, and a nice tackle by Trevor Schaefer in the back there, make the tackle. So Monroe Central is going to start around the 50-yard line this drive, but they're still in Beallsville territory.
Well, things just looking a little lackadaisical for Beallsville here in the early going. They really are looking like a team that knows they're going to be playing next week and knows that they're in pretty good shape as far as the OVA championship is concerned, and it just really doesn't seem like they're mentally in the game at this point in time.
And that sometimes can be a bad scenario because a team like Monroe Central can come in here and a big upset. Joris back to pass. He's going to go deep, and he has Conrad wide open, and he makes the easy catch for the big gain all the way to the 5-yard line. Trevor Schaefer making a touchdown-saving tackle at around the 5-yard line. I did not expect Jaser Costa to call a passing play right there and going deep. But like you said, on a big play, a big turnover, and they punted. Here, we'll see the replay here in a couple seconds.
Joris just dropping back and just airing it out. Conrad faked it out and was able to get behind Schaefer. And fortunately for Beallsville, Schaefer was able to make a play there. If not a touchdown saving tackle, maybe a touchdown delaying tackle.
Touchdown delaying tackle, yeah, maybe. Joris pitches it out. Christopher Wilson, who might have got a couple yards. The last time Monroe Central was in this position, they failed to score the touchdown. So it's going to bring up second down.
They're going to put the ball just inside the 5 at the 4.
So it's going to be second and goal from around the 4-yard line. Joris under center.
Joris is going to shift out and a direct snap to one of the backs, Jones,
who fumbled the ball, and Beallsville recovers up around the 8-yard line.
Well, Jones took a tremendous hit, and I think maybe the helmet hit the ball and forced it to come loose. Beallsville able to get on it. Maybe that's the play that Beallsville gets started, a turnover, as they're able to keep Monroe Central out, and that tackle by Schaefer now officially was a touchdown saving tackle.
Yes, it was. Joris lined up under center to try the trick play. Sarcosta called a trick play, went in motion, and it was a direct sack to the running back, but just couldn't get it in. They thought they were going to catch Beallsville off guard there.
Just one of those wrinkles that teams put in late in the year, for that rivalry game, something that you haven't seen in film before, but it just backfired because of a big hit.
Caldwell going to be first and around the 8-yard line, and he's going to take it up the middle himself and gets pretty good yardage on that play. I saw him use it already once, and he's going to be up around the 16-yard line. So that's going to be a gain about 8 yards.
Just nothing more than a quarterback sneak, just tucking right in behind your line and center and your guards and running hard. Chris Caldwell is a big kid. He's about 6 foot, 190 pounds, but a quarterback sneak getting 8 yards is real good.
We're going to have a second and about 2 around the 16-yard line for Caldwell. They got 2 guys to the near side, but hands it off. And Monroe Central's defense is right there to push them back, and he might get a loss on that play.
That's the fullback, McNear, but he drew a lot of attention there from Shoemaker and Jones and a couple other people. He's going to get back to about the line of scrimmage.
So it's still going to be about second and 2 around the 16-yard line. No gain on the last play. Central's defense all over that one.
Well, as you said earlier, Monroe Central has done a nice job with a couple of sacks holding this Beallsville running attack, which I'd said has been underrated, but they've really done a nice job thus far.
Caldwell got 2 receivers lined up to the near side, but he's going to another option. He options it to Josh Ishii, picks up the first down. Big play. That will be a first down with about 8 minutes left in this first half.
Well, that's Kyle Falkenstein, Beallsville. They're taking a late pitch. I think Chris Caldwell was downfield, but nice job by Falkenstein keeping his pitch distance and getting the yardage now. He's going to be out to the 27, 28 yard line. That's going to be a pickup of about 12 yards for Falkenstein and Beallsville's first down.
That's unbelievable. Beallsville's first down. Well, now they're calling a timeout as Kyle Falkenstein took the option pitch for the first down.
But, that's just, you can't say what that may do for the Beallsville offense, just to know that, hey, we can't get a first down, and, we're in good shape. Let's just, play here. Let's take it down the field and score. If they can come in at halftime, trailing by just a couple of points, say 9-7, they'll not feel too badly, considering how poorly things went for them early. But, Monroe Central just has come out and made a couple of big plays, and, that field position around early, and, a lot of Monroe Central's offense.
Beallsville's offense looks so close to breaking one.
I agree with that, and that's an example in that last play right there of something that, just was with the whisker of going for a real big game. It was able to get them a first down, but as you say, they're real close to getting that real big play.
Monroe coming back on the field to resume play. It's going to be first down and 10 around the 27-yard line with about 8 minutes to go in this first half. Monroe Central leads this game 9-0, but Beallsville about to break a big play any minute, it looks like.
And you say how'd they get to 9, but Chris Caldwell slipping and going down for a sack in the end zone, which gave Monroe Central an early safety, for that 9-0 lead.
And then on a 4th and 3 play, they threw it to Conrad to make it 9-0. Central's defense all over that play. It's going to bring the second down. I think Caldwell is setting them up with that run to maybe go deep on a play like this.
Well, at any time, they're going to do that. When you look at their stats for the year, they're averaging about 17.5 yards per completion, and that's pretty good, to throw for that many yards. We said earlier, Chris Caldwell, 1,861 yards, but as a team, Beallsville already over 2,000 yards passing for the year, and only a couple teams in the Valley can claim that.
They got 2 receivers in the top 3. Schaefer's number 1, Dillon's number 2. 43 and 36 receptions respectively. Caldwell under center. He's going to roll out, but Steve is back there. Central has all kind of pressure in the backfield, but he lets it go to McNear, and it's through his hands. He had McNear wide open. Caldwell escaping the rush from Monroe Central, had McNear wide open, and it just went right through his hands.
Well, that's an improvised play. As Caldwell being a left-handed thrower, that's a tough play to go to your right and try to throw it back. I thought maybe the pressure, he was just going to throw it out of bounds, but he threw it deep where the defense couldn't get it. McNear was able to be behind anybody, just not able to make a connection, and that almost was your big play that you just talked about. But again,
almost a sack in the backfield and almost a big play. Aaron Cease is being pressure all game long. It's going to be 3rd down and 9 at the 28. Caldwell back in the shotgun. He's looking near side, has Schaefer a little push. The reception up around the 40-yard line. Conrad on the coverage. So there will be another first down.
It looked like a little bit of contact there. Was able to get there, but no flag. But Schaefer doing a nice job making the catch. And now this may be what we're talking about. Beallsville, a couple of first downs. Now they're out to the 41-yard line.
I guess no flag, no contact. Caldwell first down and 10 around the 41-yard line. And he's going to take it up the middle again. This is the 3rd time they tried this play, and he's going to get another 5 yards. This play is usually good for 5 or 6 yards. So it's going to be 2nd down and about 6 up around the 44-yard line.
Well, anytime you get that kind of yardage on a sneak, you're going to come back and keep doing it until it doesn't get any yards. Right there, that's, I'd say, about 4 yards. And, if you keep going 4 yards at a time, you're going to find yourself downfield.
Caldwell, a unique player, kind of big for a quarterback. He plays nose guard also, but he's going to keep this an option. He's going to pick up about 4 yards up around midfield. So short of the first down, he's going to bring up a 3rd and a short 1.
but Chris Caldwell was able to get to the outside very quickly on that play, and really no decision to be made. He turned it up and kept the ball. This is where Beallsville can be real dangerous now, and a 3rd down and 1, because there's no guarantee that they'll run the ball. You think they sneak, but they may come back and go for that big play.
Blue Devils 3rd down and 1 up around midfield. Going to go with the quarterback sneak up the middle. The Monroe Central's defense is right there. I think they just barely picked up the 1st down. They got about a yard, so it's going to be really close. It's either going to be 4th down and inches or 1st down.
They're going to have to take a look at this. From our angle, it looks like that he does have the 1st down. That's the best job Monroe Central has done against that quarterback sneak.
That was a nice spot by the ref.
And as you said, there's going to be a 1st down. It's going to be 4th and inches. And from this position on the field, if it's not a 1st down, I think Dave Caldwell will roll the dice, trailing 9-0, only 5:16 left before half, and go for it. And it's going to be a 1st down.
First down by a couple inches. By a half a length of the ball, Beallsville is rolling with another 1st down up around midfield. So it's going to be 1st and 10 with about 5 minutes left in this 1st half. Monroe Central leading 9-0. Caldwell up under center. Got McNear behind him. He's going to go to Trevor Schaefer off his hand. A little bit thrown a little bit behind him. Conrad on the coverage.
That ball hung up in the air a long time. It was a little bit behind Schaefer, and that's a very dangerous play. If you underthrow that or throw it behind the receiver and that's picked off, it could go the other way. Got a play there. I believe the marker off the chain must have fallen off during that last measurement. They're able to get that back out there now and resume play. 5 minutes remaining, 5:02 to be exact before halftime.
2nd down and 10 up around the 50-yard line. 50 yards to go. The cut, Monroe Central leads to 2. And Caldwell is going to go to Schaefer, underthrown, and it's picked off by Conrad up around the 34-yard line. That ball was poorly thrown again, and Monroe Central's defense was right there for the interception.
Well, Conrad, doing the job that he's supposed to do is that safety and not let that receiver get behind him. And I think maybe Schaefer may have broken his pattern off, and Caldwell did not read that and made it look underthrown. It looked like it was thrown directly to Conrad. As you can see right there, a little out and up, but Conrad did not bite on the out fake and was able to make the play, and a very easy interception.
Miscommunication on offense for the Blue Devils. Monroe Central 1st and 10. And it's going to be Gordon up the sidelines, a little pushing and shoving out of bounds. And he's going to pick up a 1st down on the first play of their possession for this series.
Jones able to get outside, pick up yardage. That's 12 yards. That's going to be another 1st down for Monroe Central.
That was Adam Jones. From my vantage point, I see the 4, and they got Adam Jones and Gabe Gordon, both big guys in the backfield, and they both kind of look similar from over here.
That's 34 and 44, but you don't get a real good look at it. It really does look a lot alike there, but that's a nice gain on 1st down. And Monroe Central, every play they run seems to be for positive yardage.
1st and 10.
Well, maybe I spoke too soon.
Beallsville defense over to stop the run there. Tried to go to Christopher Wilson, but they're going to be stopped for a loss. It's going to be 2nd down.
We have a penalty on the play, so not only does that play, you lose yardage from Monroe Central, but a holding call against the Seminoles. So we'll let the officials sort this out. To say the play went for about a 3-yard loss, but they're going to mark that back, and that's going to put Monroe Central into some deep straits now, as their first penalty is going to back them up 10 yards, and that's going to be 1st down again, real long. About 23 yards to go.
1st and about 23 around the 36-yard line. 32 or 3. They're going to spot the ball. It's going to be 1st down and 22 from the 33. Joris under center. Got 2 guys in the back. hands it off to Gordon, and he has a hole, gets about 5 or 6 yards to about the 42-yard line. That's a gain of 9 yards.
On a long situation such as that, first down, 23, nothing says you have to get all 23 yards in one play. You have 3 opportunities. As you say, Gordon does a nice job there. We'll get about 8 yards on first down and just, get a few at a time.
So it's going to be second down and 14. The clock winding at 3:46. Monroe Central at the 42-yard line. And Doris back to pass, has all kind of pressure. And Caldwell is back there to make the sack for the big loss. He's going to be sacked around the 30-yard line. So this is going to be a loss of 11 yards. So it's going to be third down and long.
That's the first time Beallsville has been able to get any pressure on. And you'll see Chris Caldwell coming from his middle guard position, go through there, and he'll get a hold of Doris and throw him to the ground for about 11, 12-yard loss. Just your hands around the waist. Chris Caldwell, treat the quarterback like some defensive linemen treat him.
Anthony Schreiber in on that too. So Doris, third and 26 around the 30-yard line. And hands it off to Jones, but he's caught in the backfield by Caldwell. Caldwell playing the nose, just gets in there and makes another tackle to save maybe another big gain. Fourth down, Monroe Central is going to have to punt.
Well, the clock running now, 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first half. Beallsville's going to want to try to get some pressure here and get themselves in position to get some points out of this first half. It's been disastrous from their offensive standpoint. Defense, with the aid of a penalty, steps up there and makes a couple of big plays. So this will definitely be the best starting position that Beallsville has had in this game.
Beallsville, like you said, is going to have good field position with about 2:14 and winding on the clock. Monroe Central punts. Trevor Schaefer makes a couple little nifty moves and gets up to about the 45-yard line. So there's going to be 2:02 left in the clock, first and 10 at about the 45 of Monroe Central.
This Beallsville possession is going to start from about the same place on the field as the Monroe Central possession started before the penalty and the sack. Schaefer did a real good job there. That was a low line drive kick, and you teach kids to catch it on the fly, and he ran up and made sure he caught the ball. If it hits the ground, it may roll 15 yards. So
he's the guy that can make you miss, and he made a couple people miss there to get that 15 or so yards.
Yeah, not only did he catch it and save that yardage, he able to gain some yardage also.
Schaefer in motion, Dillon to the near side, Caldwell back to pass. It's tipped and caught by Kyle Falkenstein for a big gain to around the 30-yard line. But that was tipped by Joe.
And we've got a penalty flag. There's going to be a late hit on Monroe Central against quarterback Caldwell. That's going to tack 15 yards on to the end of the play. So the 32-yard line, the play gain's about 14 yards. This is going to move it down even farther.
So they're going to be threatening to score with 1:53 on the clock. It's first down and 10 at the 32 right now. So with the personal foul, it's going to move it up. So they're going to have even better field position. So it's going to be first and 10 deep in the Seminoles territory with 1:53 on the clock.
And from where Beallsville has been tonight, this is the first time they've been able to see the end zone down here at any time. As you say, now it's about the 17 or 18-yard line. They still have plenty of time with one timeout left to get to the end zone. Trips to the left.
Caldwell in the shotgun, first and 10 at the 18-yard line. Looking for Falkenstein, has him wide open up the middle, and he's in for the touchdown, an 18-yard touchdown by Falkenstein. Conrad just read that play perfectly. The guys communicated well. Falkenstein over the middle, and a nice pass by Caldwell. Perfect play to set up a touchdown. Kind of looked like Monroe Central's touchdown early in that first half.
Very similar. Falkenstein running a slant. Caldwell threw the ball to a spot. You hope that something doesn't happen. I think the replay will show that as the Falkenstein just runs into the ball. Chris Caldwell threw it long before Falkenstein made his break. And he just got to the end zone, bowled over Conrad, and got a big touchdown with 1:34 left before half.
So it's 9-6 before Beallsville's extra point, and that's up and good. It's 9-7 with 1:34 on the clock. Beallsville only trailing by 2 points right now.
Chris Caldwell, we talk about him defensively, we talk about him as a quarterback. He's also a real nice place kicker. That's 22 PATs that he has kicked this year. That puts Beallsville back in real good shape. You know, they'll feel a lot better about going to the locker room trailing 9-7 if that's the way it works out.
I have all these statistics in front of me, and he is in the top of every category, it seems like. Rushing, passing, now kicking.
Something else to be aware of, Rich, is the fact that very many times during the game and twice last week, Beallsville has been known to try a lot of onside kicks regardless of the situation. You know, they could take a gamble here now that they have a little bit of momentum and try that onside kick, and if they recover it, have a chance to get another one in here. But you know, that would be kind of a risky play, you know, to take a chance of giving the ball up at midfield with 1:34 left before the half.
So Beallsville cuts the lead to 2. They're still trailing the Seminoles 9-7, but have the momentum in their favor.
And Chris Caldwell also is the kickoff man. Sometimes he'll just nub it down the field and follow it. So I would guess he'll kick this one deep.
Monroe Central's going to have 1:34 on the clock to drive up the field and maybe get a couple points. Christopher Wilson to the outside, breaks a couple tackles, and he's going to be up around midfield. And they're going to have 1:22 to go, 50 yards to extend their lead.
Everybody stopped for a moment there on the side. I think they thought that Wilson was going to either go out of bounds or be knocked out of bounds, but he didn't and was able to keep going. So as you say, you know, now Monroe Central is at the 47-yard line. They have a timeout, 1:22 left. You know, we'll see. Carson may dip into the bag of tricks and try for another one here and try to offset that Beallsville score.
You remember last time they tried a trick play. 1st and 10 for Monroe Central up around the 48-yard line. Joris, all kind of pressure, and is sacked by Matt Brown in the backfield. He was looking towards Jones and Conrad to the near side. But Matt Brown penetrating, and Monroe Central is going to have 2nd and long.
And now, Rich, Jason Costa will allow that clock to run and try to get out of here with this 9-7 lead. Beallsville still has a timeout, I believe, remaining, so they could stop it after this play and try to force Monroe Central to run. But 45 seconds. 43
seconds and counting. And a screen pass to Jones. He's going to gain about the yard that they lost on the previous play to about the 45-yard line. So it kind of looks like they're just running out the clock, maybe hoping that they could have broke that for a big play.
This is a nice defensive play. You know, a screen's always a good offensive call, and we'll get a stoppage of play here as Beallsville will spend that timeout. But if Monroe Central runs the ball, they'll be able to kill the clock, because I believe that may be Beallsville's final timeout. Even though the scoreboard does show them with 7 timeouts remaining, I don't think that's accurate. And there's the replay, and a nice play there by Beallsville on that screen play.
Bill Blakely with a tackle. So it's going to be 3rd down and 13, around the 45 with 19 seconds left. I'd imagine that Jay Sircosta is going to call a running play here and just let the clock wind out and go into the halftime with the lead, 9-7 lead.
I think so, because if you would have told Jay Sircosta or any of his people before the game that they could go in at halftime with a 9-17, I think they would have taken that in a heartbeat. And that, but they have done a nice job converting a couple of big plays, and a lot of credit to the Monroe Central offense, which early in the year struggled, but has really moved the ball well the last 3 or 4 weeks, and they've made the big plays, and they were into the end zone once, and right now the difference being that first quarter safety.
So Dave Caldwell coming up the field. He wasn't too happy with his special teams letting Wilson go all the way up to midfield.
Yeah, because of the time, though, he may avoid that being something that will really hurt them. You're going to see a lot of people. Falkenstein, the free safety, is going to be about 20 to 25 yards off the play. The corners are going to be deep. They'll give Monroe Central some yardage on a run here, because it is 13. They just don't want to allow a big pass play.
3rd and 13 at the 45. Joris under center in the I formation. Pitches it to Jones, who has a lot of room on the outside. Makes a nice move there. And runs it all the way to about the 34-yard line. There's 7 seconds on the clock.
A lot of standing around by the Beallsville defense.
He ran over a couple people, made a nice move to go inside and get a little bit more yardage. I think Beallsville thought he was just going to run out of bounds. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 34 with 7 seconds left.
You'll see some of that standing around here by the Beallsville defense. Jones, a lot of running room, but, a lot of people standing. He didn't go out of bounds. A lot of people watching him. Now, Monroe
George
go deep.
back to pass. Has a lot of time to move around, but underthrows Conrad. 1 second left to make a miracle happen to go in halftime with a little more than 2-point lead. 1 second on the clock. Do you expect them to take a knee or try to go for the end zone?
From this position on the field, you can get some protection for the quarterback. It's throwing it downfield the line of scrimmage 34. If it's intercepted, the chances of a run back for a touchdown are probably pretty slim.
The Seminoles offensive line has been doing a pretty good job against Norris.
Yeah, just a couple times they've let people get to him, and Beallsville's going to drop a lot of people into coverage.
Well, Norris is looking deep and overthrows a guy to the far side. Falkenstein was back there on the coverage. So at the end of the first half, Monroe Central with the 9-7 lead, the unexpected 9-7 lead. We'll be back right after this.
Getting together a long time. This game has been big every year that I can remember. There's always playoff berths, OVAC championships, and that on the line. As we said earlier, Beallsville is going to play next week, but Monroe Central, they're looking to make it go on the road possibly, and also as a chance for Monroe Central seniors to be 4-0 against Beallsville. And in the history of that rivalry, there's not been a whole lot of players on either team that can say they went 4-0 against the other.
Yes, the Seminoles trying to win their 4th straight last year. They did it in overtime. This is the Beallsville team. This year, they're about to kick off the second half. Adam Jones with the kickoff. Falkenstein with the reception, cuts it to the outside, up the sideline, and a nice tackle to get him out of bounds, up around the 45, but it was a nice return. Wilson with the tackle on the sideline to push him out of bounds.
Well, Falkenstein showed some great speed. He bounced it outside. Monroe Central looked like they had an angle, but he just ran away from the Seminoles and got up the sideline, took a pretty good hit, but that's going to be about a 40, 45-yard return. So whatever momentum Beallsville took in at halftime, after that late touchdown, they just built on that nice return. If they can go down and score here, they're going to feel real good about things.
If you just joined us, it's 9-7 Monroe Central at the beginning of the second half, and a little hook and ladder. Caldwell to Schaefer, to Falkenstein, another first down, another big play. Caldwell's bringing out the trick plays.
Well, you don't see that play a lot anymore, but Schaefer just with a quick look. Falkenstein out there was nobody there. He's going to pick up yardage now down to the 25-yard line, and that's a big play. And you'll see the replay of this. Schaefer with nobody there made it an easy pitch right there, and not a Seminole outside. Falkenstein's good speed, picked up about 17 yards.
Caldwell hands it off up the middle, and it's a fumble. And Adam Jones is right there to pick it up. Now it's Monroe Central's ball. Ryan Kinsey up the middle, looked like he had a touchdown, fumbled inside the 10-yard line, and Monroe Central gets the ball back.
2 turnovers apiece, and a couple of them there. Each team has fumbled as they looked like they were going into the end zone, and that will kill a drive in a hurry. Momentum, it looked like Beallsville was building, ends in a hurry, and you can see, the Beallsville coaching staff, Caldwell just shaking his head. He doesn't know what to do.
Caldwell pacing on the sidelines, not too happy with the offense on that play. McKenzie fumbled inside the 10-yard line, and Adam Jones with the recovery. Right now, Joris under center, 1st and 10 at the 7-yard line, and hands it off for a couple of yards. We're going to get up around the 10-yard line to Adam Jones.
The longer this game goes with Monroe Central in the lead, the more they're confident, and they've done a nice job of shortening this game And, right now, it looked like Beallsville was going to take the first lead of the night, but, it didn't happen. So it's up to that defense has played real well for Beallsville to step up and do the job.
Going back to that hook ladder play, it's a wonder high school and colleges don't use that play even more. Seems like it always works
if you can get the timing. That's what's difficult, the timing of the play, and Beallsville did it just right.
We got a 2nd down and 10 at the 7-yard line, and there's flags. False start on the offense. It's going to bring it back halfway to the goal line. We're still looking at 2nd down. It'll be 2nd down and about 13 from around the 4-yard line.
Yeah, penalties have been very few in this game. Matter of fact, I have 3 for Monroe Central, 3 for Monroe Central, just 1 for Beallsville. So the kids do a real nice job in this game. You think rivalry games, there'd be a lot of enthusiasm and maybe get some late hits, but most of your rivalry games don't have a lot of that. Matter of fact, I think I saw your interviews with John Magistro of Belair the other day, and that's a point he made. A lot of times, these rivalries don't yield that kind of play.
Hands it off for a couple yards. It's going to get past the 5-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and a long 12 or 13 around the 5-yard line from Monroe Central.
But since a couple early plays, Beallsville defensively has really done a nice job. The center of that line, Chris Caldwell, is one. Blakely, along with Brown, do a real nice job in the interior. And those linebackers, which would be Kinsey and McDeer, they do a real nice job filling holes. So they've been tough to run against.
They've been doing a real nice job today stopping the run as George takes the snap to the center. He's back to pass. He got all kind of time, and all kind of people converge on him. All kind of big numbers back there. I saw Bill Blakely, Shriver, a couple Beallsville linemen on the stop.
Thought for a moment there we might have the second safety of the game. You don't see that very often.
No, you don't. And you touched on the less penalties in a big rival game like this. The only thing I saw that kind of was out of line was over there. You saw a couple people late in the first half, a little Gabe Northern punting to Schaefer. And this is kind of nice punt, going to roll up to midfield. Schaefer's going to field it around the 48-yard line, breaks a couple tackles, and cuts it inside to about the 36-yard line. As I was saying before, there's not too many. When you get big rivals, you get a heated situations, and I really haven't seen that today.
I think that's a credit to the coaching staffs and the kids, that how they play under control. There's an example there. We talked in the first half about catching that ball on the fly. Schaefer really didn't have much choice there, but he was able to track it down and still get about 10 to 12 yards back after it rolled. So Beallsville, once again, excellent field position as they continue to trail by 2 points.
Nice return by Trevor Schaefer to set up a 1st down and 10 around the 37-yard line. Caldwell is looking for the big play, has Falkenstein, and a nice catch, and he's going to go into the end zone for the touchdown. A big play, 37 yards. Nice hookup. Caldwell to Falkenstein, big play.
That's a play that Beallsville will run a lot, just a fade pattern. Strong-arm quarterback like Caldwell will just throw it up. And watch on this replay as Falkenstein will adjust to the ball in the air, and the defensive back really doesn't stand a lot chance and does a real nice job tight-roping it the rest of the way. 37-yard touchdown.
Caldwell still doesn't look happy on the sidelines after a touchdown.
But he just knows it's taken a long time to get this lead.
That was a tremendous effort to stay in bounds by Falkenstein. Extra point is good. The score from Beallsville Stadium, Beallsville 14, Monroe Central 9. You're watching the WTRF Game of the Week. We'll be right back after this.
From a deck to a complete house, Woodsfield True Value has the lumber and building materials for contractors or do-it-yourselfers. Before you go out of town, bring your plans into Troy and Mike for a free estimate. We think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Delivery is available for your project materials too. From lumber and siding to shingles, windows, insulation, and cabinets, Woodsfield True Value is your source for building materials and building packages. So give Troy or Mike a call today at Woodsfield True Value.
Welcome back to Beallsville, where the Blue Devils just took the lead 14-9 over Monroe Central on a nice hookup of Caldwell and Falkenstein. He did a great effort of staying in bounds to get the touchdown. That was 37 yards. Now, Beallsville has the momentum. They're taking a 14-9 lead, up by 5 on Monroe Central.
Well, their defense has really taken over a segment of this game, and that's the quick strike potential that Beallsville has there. You know, get a decent punt return, one play, 37 yards, and as you say, momentum definitely is on the side of Beallsville, as their defense has really given the offense good field position.
As Caldwell is getting ready to kick off. That touchdown came about at 8:36 in the third quarter. Is Beallsville's first lead of the game. Beallsville set the kickoff. This is Caldwell. Monroe Central's Conrad returning, gets to the outside, up to midfield. Monroe Central has been doing a great job in returning punts and kicks today. And the replay of the touchdown, watch Falkenstein's effort of staying in bounds here. This is just tremendous footwork by him.
Well, he's not more than a couple of inches inside that white line. And, you know, it's a real good awareness of where he is on the field to know what he had to do and get to the end zone. And that's a senior. You know, Falkenstein really hasn't touched the ball a lot tonight. A couple receptions for touchdowns and one pretty good rush, but it's been big play every time that he has touched it.
Well, the Seminoles, good field position once again. They're going to have a first down and 10 around the 43-yard line. Joris under center is going to hand it off. And that's Gordon for a couple yards up the middle to about the 49-yard line.
Well, you talked about that kickoff return too, Rich. You know, both teams, special teams on their return game have been very good tonight and have given the offenses good field position.
Monroe Central is going to have a second down and 6 around the 47-yard line. 8 minutes and ticking on the clock in the third quarter. Beallsville leads this game 14-9. George under center, everyone's set. He's going to hand it off to Jones, who has all kind of running room, runs over Falkenstein to about the 37-yard line. Big run by Jones.
Well, a nice tackle by Falkenstein. He just kind of throws the body out there to trip Jones up, but it's going to be a first down. And, you know, a lot of credit for Monroe Central bouncing back. You'll see Jones show some good speed here as he gets to the outside, and Falkenstein just kind of goes for everything here. If he misses that tackle, that could have been a touchdown.
The big guy has nice speed. Adam Jones with the big run to set up a first down. Now we have flags.
And before the snap, it could be somebody in the neutral zone. We'll wait for a signal, Keith Bloom, and he's going to pick the flag up and say there is no penalty.
So there was no penalty. They pulled the flag off the turf or grass. Monroe Central going to have a first down and 10 after a huge run by Adam Jones. Ball's at the 36-yard line of Beallsville. Offense is set, and he hands it off to Wilson, who makes a couple nice moves, jumping over defenders, jumped over Falkenstein right there to get the ball up around the 30-yard line.
Well, Monroe Central putting together a nice drive here after that Beallsville score. You know, nothing simple, just going right back and putting the ball on the ground and making a real nice effort here. And if they can get another score here and cancel out that Beallsville touchdown, then, you know, they'll get that confidence back. You know, we're still midway through the third period, so there's a lot of football to play.
They're still in this game, Monroe Central. Another handoff to Wilson, tripped up a little bit, and Beallsville is right there to stop them, as Dillon and McNear in the backfield to make the stop. Another loss, so it's going to be about third down and 7 up around the 34-yard line.
Looked like Wilson stumbled as he tried to get to the outside, and McNear from the linebacker spot come up and finish that play off for a loss of about 3 yards.
So the Seminoles are going to have a third down and 8 at the 34 with about 6 minutes left in his third quarter. Joris under center. He's back to pass, got a guy rushing, that's Shriver, and he completes the pass to Preston Kilborn to about the 20-yard line, and that will be a first down. Joris did a great job to avoid the rush by Shriver.
This is the tight end, Kilburn, just steps across the middle. Joris finds him, nobody real close to him, and he's able to get down and get his first down yardage. So Monroe Central's in real good shape now, down at about the 20-yard line. And this has been a real impressive drive after the nice kickoff return since the Beallsville scored for the Blue Devil lead.
But boy, did he take a hit after he released that ball. We got a flag now. False start.
I didn't see for sure what that was, Rich, but I got a feeling maybe one of the offensive linemen came up and put his hand down and then picked it back up. But you know, in that previous play, the pass to Kilburn, you like to see that when you have went to your outside people a lot, you know, coming back to that tight end over the middle, something that Monroe Central has done a couple times previous in the year, and that Beallsville does quite a bit also.
Daniel Smithberger was called for the false start, moved his hand. And it's intercepted. Joris had all kind of time. It was picked up a nice block, and it was intercepted. Now this is Schaefer bringing it all the way up to about the 37-yard line. So now Beallsville has the ball after Monroe Central is putting together a nice little drive there.
Well, this is going to come back. Beallsville will have the ball and the interception by Schaefer, but there's a flag right about the point of the first block there. You may be able to pick that up here in some kind of illegal block, but Schaefer makes a good interception right there, and then somebody comes in and gets called for a block. There's a Seminole on the ground there, and the Blue Devil, you know, hit him in the back while he was laying on the ground that kept him from getting up, and that's going to be a clip. But Beallsville will have possession of the ball, and they have a 14-9 lead. And as you said, it stops what was looking like a very nice Monroe Central drive.
Seminoles had an opportunity to take the lead, or at least get within 1 point of the lead, or 2 points of the lead. But now Beallsville has the ball deep in Central territory.
And that is a clip call.
Deep in their own territory.
And that's going to be about the 5-yard line, it looks like.
It's going to be first down and 10 around the 6-yard line. Caldwell under center. Hands it off to the up back for about 1 or 2 yards.
Well, Beallsville, you know, we're going to try to get back to that ground game a little bit. You know, we think of them as a passing team, but they have a very nice ground game behind their quarterback, Caldwell, and Kinsey. So they're going to try to reestablish that because they have moved the ball real well in the air. And if they could, you know, make a nice long 94-yard drive here, they could be in good shape.
See a shot at McNear. Caldwell on second down and 8 around the 7-yard line. He's going to pass to the near side. He got Falkenstein. Makes a nice move to avoid a tackle, but they get him around the 19-yard line, but that will be a first down.
Well, it looked like Wilson was able to get him by the ankle, but again, tonight, every time that Kyle Falkenstein has touched the ball, it's been a big play.
Yes, it has.
And here's just a quick out as he makes the reception and turns, and there you can see Wilson just enough to trip him up before Jones falls on him and finishes the play.
Well, the Blue Devils trying to put together another drive. It's first down and 10 at the 19-yard line. Caldwell back to pass. Got a man deep, and that's Falkenstein extending with a nice catch up around the 40-yard line. What a tremendous catch by Falkenstein. He made the play before, and now he got this first down. Watch the catch by Falkenstein.
This is one of the nicest efforts that you're going to see, Rich, anywhere, as he just extends out and makes that play. That's just a tremendous effort. There's nothing the defensive back can do there.
Full extension on that play. Kyle Falkenstein with a full extending reception. Unbelievable catch. Caldwell put that ball out for him, and Falkenstein came up with the big catch for the first down. This is a quick handoff to Kinsey, who gets a couple yards. So it's going to bring up a second down and about 8.
Well, as you look at the way things have gone so far, Rich, you know, Falkenstein has been in the center of everything with the 2 touchdown catches and the excellent catch on the play previous. You know, Schaefer with only, you know, 2 catches and then the reception on the hook and ladder play. And Dylan, who has 36 catches for the year, does not have a reception yet tonight. So you may look for him to make a play here soon.
I was talking to Jay Sircosta before the game, and he said you got to watch out for this Falkenstein kid. And another great catch, tiptoeing, trying to get a little more yardage on the sidelines. And that is going to be a reception around the 30-yard line. Caldwell to Falkenstein. Sircosta warned me about this kid.
Well, now you couldn't have been more good in your timing there, Rich, as far as talking about that. A 33-yard pickup and another first down. And, you know, this game has turned into the Kyle Falkenstein show. And this is another great catch. The defense is right there.
That's what I was just going to say. There's great coverage, but the ball is thrown exactly where it needs to be, and Falkenstein makes the catch. Monroe Central calling a timeout. That's their first timeout of this half. So I guess Jay Sircosta is going to try to calm his team down after 2 big plays right now.
Well, this could be a timeout that's very well spent because of a couple great efforts. And I think you have to tell your defensive people, you know, hey, you're in real good shape as far as your coverage. That's just really good throws and a really good catch. And there's not much you can do as a defender.
Caldwell to Falkenstein 2 times in a row, 2 tremendous catches. And that, I don't want to even supersede the catch that he made earlier in the game, tiptoeing down the sideline for the touchdown. But he has made 3 tremendous catches in this game so far.
Well, I think something Richard needs pointed out here is that Chris Caldwell has been able to get a lot of time. Early in the game, he was sacked a couple of times and was not able to throw the ball. Now in the last quarter and a half or so, he's been able to stand back there and find receivers, and he's put it right on the money for the play. So Monroe Central needs to get some more pressure on and not give the quarterback time to stand there and decide where he wants to throw the ball.
Well, this crowd is pumped up after those 2 big gains by Falkenstein. Right now the score is 14-9, as you saw a little bit ago. There's about 3 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter, and Beallsville threatening to score one more time.
And again, they're going to spread people out and have 4 wide receivers.
And don't forget about Falkenstein in the backfield. Caldwell looking to the left and looking to the right. All kind of pressure. Cease is there to make the stop along with Jones. So that was a pretty big play by their defense.
I think everybody on the front line come out. As I said during the timeout, you know, pressure will help your defensive backs, and everybody was there. And Caldwell really no time, and he's going to be sacked, you know, for a loss about 7 yards.
Aaron Cease has been in that backfield a lot this game. Makes a big play for a 7-yard loss there. 2nd down and 17 at the 37. Caldwell in the shotgun. Got Kinsey to the right of him. Looking left for Falkenstein. And we're going to see a flag there. Christopher Wilson was pushing off a little bit. Falkenstein could have broke open, but Wilson tried to hold him back, and you knew the flag was going to come.
I think Wilson had pretty good inside position, but you could see, you know, with the left arm, he put it out and was pushing a little bit there, and that's going to draw a flag any time.
Pass interference on Wilson.
That brings it back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 15-yard step off on Monroe Central, so that's going to give them a first down around the 22-yard line.
So that's one thing I'm sure Jay Sircosta was stressing to this defense. You can't give up a big penalty like that. Now Beallsville could have been 3rd down and 17, but now they're going to have a first down deep in Monroe Central's territory.
Even though it was 17 yards to go, that 15-yard penalty is an automatic first down. So it will be first down from the 22. But you know, Beallsville has run that play a couple times earlier. It's just a fade pattern, throw it up, and let the offensive man adjust. In that case, Falkenstein could not adjust because he was getting contact from Wilson, the defensive back.
As you just saw, Coach Sircosta not too happy on the sideline.
Well, I think he feels like his defensive back was in good position, and really maybe the offense initiated the contact.
Good call by the ref. Caldwell takes the snap, looking for Falkenstein. Who else? Just overthrows him. Wilson's there, and Gordon's there. So this is going to bring up a 2nd down and 10 around the 22-yard line, 2 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter.
And even though they've looked at Falkenstein several times here recently, you know, you need to know where Schaefer is and where Dillon would be if you're the defensive players from Monroe Central, because this is where you get your attention toward one receiver and somebody else jumps up and makes the big play.
And I think that's what Coach Dave Caldwell might be trying to do here. He's they might have a big play with either Schaefer or Dillon. He's been thrown to Falkenstein all the way up this sideline, all the way up the field.
This is going to be an illegal substitution penalty signaled on Monroe Central. They had 13 people, or maybe 12 people in the field, and some guys trying to get off late, and Coach Acosta really upset on the far sideline on that. And I think he's going to want an explanation and not going to get one, but it's going to cost Monroe Central 5 yards.
So now it's going to be 2nd down and 5 at the 17. Penalties lately have been killing Monroe Central. We were talking about earlier in the game, there have been few penalties. Right now, McKenzie gets the quick handoff and gets a couple yards to about the 15-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3 around the 15.
It's a short yardage situation with 2 downs to get the 1st down. A big decision here by Coach Caldwell is whether you run the ball, which you've not had a lot of luck so far tonight, on and try to get the 1st down, or whether do you go ahead and throw it a couple times, because that's been your bread and butter.
Well, I'd look for him to go to Falkenstein, Schaefer, or Dillon. He got all kind of weapons. He got Schaefer to the right of him, McKenzie in the backfield, and Falkenstein to the far left. They're going to throw that fade pattern to him in the end zone, and it's going to be a touchdown. Another great catch by Falkenstein to bring the ball in, and he just barely gets into the end zone. But a tremendous play again by Falkenstein. Caldwell to Falkenstein, good for 15 yards, and the 20-9 lead.
I think you'll be able to see where the ball's just thrown up in the air. Falkenstein adjusts to the ball, and the defensive back has no idea where the ball is. He has to worry about the receiver and just throw it up in the air, adjust to the outside. No chance for the defender. Nice throw and a nice catch.
It was a great over-the-shoulder catch by Falkenstein. That's 4 tremendous catches by this kid in this game. Caldwell to try to make it 21-9, and he does. 1:20 left in this 3rd quarter, and Beallsville really coming out this 3rd quarter. 21-9, they lead right now. But man, does this guy have unbelievable hands or what?
And as you look at the stats, he's only the 3rd leading receiver on the team. Trevor Schaefer, Travis Dillon with 43 and 36 catches. Falkenstein comes into the game with only 19 catches, and I have him now for 6 catches and 3 of them for touchdowns.
Well, he's my player of the game so far.
He definitely has been the key to the game, and it's not because of bad coverage either. And during this break, we can see Coach Acosta trying to get an explanation on that. Another look at the touchdown, and just, what more can you say here as we get that queued up. Caldwell, 2 steps, throws it up to the corner, and Falkenstein adjusts, makes the play, makes it look awfully easy.
What do you think Coach Acosta is saying to the refs right now?
I think he's still upset about what was a substitution violation. Monroe Central had 12 people in the huddle defensively, and one of them tried to get off the field. It looked like he was off the field. The ball was never snapped, but the back judge threw the flag. It's something you see in the NFL and college, and I think he's trying to get an explanation. It's not going to change the call. The damage was done, whether it's a right call or not a right call. And it's 1:21 left in the 3rd quarter. Beallsville's up 21-9. But he's going to make a point and hopefully get another call later on.
Acosta still on the field over there, delaying this kickoff, trying to argue his point.
And the thing is, that so much happens in football, the person that makes the call is not the people that's closest by to talk to.
Okay, right now the score, Beallsville 21-9. Beallsville, Chris Caldwell is set to kick off. Caldwell over the head is going to roll into the end zone over the head of Eric Brown. So it's going to be a touchback, and Monroe Central is going to have a 1st down and 10 around the 20-yard line.
Well, since this game was 9-0, when Monroe Central scored with 32 seconds left in the 1st quarter, it's been really all Beallsville. Monroe Central a couple close possessions there, was able to get it down close, and Beallsville able to make a couple stops, 2 Monroe Central turnovers, and the Beallsville offense the last quarter and a half has been clicking like we expected coming in.
Yes, but Monroe Central, they've lead this series 4-2 since the team has consolidated, so I'm sure head coach Jason Acosta is going to have a couple tricks up his sleeve as Wilson takes the handoff for a couple yards.
All of a sudden, the Monroe Central running, getting nothing at all, and the Beallsville front, Dillon's the defensive end on that left side, Caldwell in the middle making that play. We mentioned Blakely and Brown. Defensive end on this right side is Shriver, and they've done a great job.
So Joris is going to have a 2nd down and 10 at about the 20-yard line. Under center, team is set, and he's going to go back to pass, but there's a lot of pressure. Nice moves in the pocket to get outside, and he's going to pick up about 4 or 5 yards, but Beallsville runs him out of bounds around the 25-yard line.
Well, they looked back at Conrad on the left side against Schaefer. That's been a big play for Monroe Central earlier. This time, Schaefer had excellent coverage. Nowhere for George to throw. He scrambled to the outside. Looks like he'll get about 4 yards. That's going to be a 3rd down and 6.
3rd down and 6 at the 24. 35 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. That's been owned by Beallsville. Looking to pick up the 1st down here. Joris looking to the near side. Finds Jones, who runs, reverses field, but it was a nice screen play. We saw that earlier before the half, and they go the same way, and Jones cuts it in the middle.
He looked to play off real well downfield, goes to Jones. Adam Jones then just really turned on the Jets, gets upfield for 12 yards, and gets a big 1st down.
Adam Jones, 5'10", 180, senior. He got some wheels.
Well, he showed good speed as he had a little bit of a block and then just cut it back to the middle. Sometimes when you cut back against the grain, the result is a big play.
All right, Joris looking at a 1st down with time winding out in this 3rd quarter, just barely gets the play off. And this is a nice run by Wilson, picking up about 5 yards to end the 3rd quarter. So Monroe Central is going to have a 2nd down and about 5 at about the 40-yard line. When we come back, this is the WTRF Game of the Week. Beallsville leading Monroe Central 21-9. Stick around.
Bob Nick.
Joris under center. Eye set. Looking to the near side. Moving around back there and falls down. Caldwell back there. They had all kind of pressure. Caldwell, and I believe that is Bill Blakely back in the backfield again.
Pretty good job by Beallsville in coverage. Blue Devils were a little late getting a defensive back out to their defensive left side against Conrad, but it looked like number 24, LaRue, was able to get there at the last minute, so they were not able to pick that up. But then Caldwell not able to find a receiver, and he'll lose back to about the 33-yard line.
It's going to be 3rd down and 12 at the 34-yard line. Caldwell, all kind of pressure, dumps it off to Gordon, who tries to get to the sideline. But Dillon is right there to make the stop. All kind of blue jerseys there. So they're not going to pick up the 1st down. It's 4th down and long, and they're going to have to punt.
That's just a nice job of the defense, just stretching that play out. They've been fooled a couple times on that little screen play out there, but that time they were able to make the play. It's 4th down, play long, and it's the first time we've seen the punters on the field in a while, but Beallsville's defense is really doing a nice job.
This is the freshman, Gordon, who's going to punt. Bad snap, but gets the punt off. And this is Falkenstein, who's going to take it around the 45-yard line. Takes it to about the 45 of Monroe Central. So now it's Beallsville who's getting a good field position. In the beginning of the game, it was Monroe Central, but Beallsville's going to have a 1st down and 10 at around the 46-yard line.
Well, the way things has gone for Falkenstein tonight, you almost expected him to catch that punt on the run and take it to the end zone, because he's done just such a great job. And, the defense, though, making the plays with a couple of sacks. And this Beallsville defense, I think, is quite a bit underrated. And they've done a nice job tonight, and they have put their offense in good field position, and and the offense has taken advantage of it.
Yes, they have. Caldwell under center is going to hand it to Kinsey, who breaks off a nice chunk of yardage to about the 37-yard line. So it's going to be second down for the Blue Devils. Second down and about a 3.
Well, you know Dave Caldwell would like to mix a few runs in at this time and take a little bit of time off that clock. Even if he doesn't score, he knows he has a 12-point lead. Now, Beallsville is just going to line it up on an unbalanced set. This time you can see them come with the unbalanced to the left. And a lot of times, they don't try to fool anybody. They'll just run behind those people and say, try to stop us.
They hand it off to the outback Kinsey, who gets about 2 yards. He's going to be short of that first down. So it's going to bring up a third down and a short 1. Beallsville's looking to even up this series. Monroe Central leads at 20-19, and there's 3 ties in there. So they're trying to even up this series. David Caldwell, great record so far, 125 and 54 with 1 tie, 69% winning for him. So I'm showing the short third down with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Caldwell keeps it up the middle.
Well, you shouldn't be at all surprised by the quarterback sneak. Early in the game, they ran that quite a bit for some big yardage. That time just falls forward. He's going to get a good 3, maybe close to 4 yards.
And Falkenstein is trying to get this crowd pumped up. He's pumped up from all the touchdowns he scored today and all the great receptions he had. And this crowd is pumped up right now. The fans are really getting into it.
Maybe Kyle Falkenstein, a candidate for your player of the week, at least in consideration.
He's definitely my player of the game. And I don't see anyone beating him out for player of the week, but we'll have to find out. As Caldwell completes it to Dillon, and that's going to be a first down for those guys at about the 20-yard line. We haven't seen too much of Dillon today, but he connected with them right there.
Well, as a matter of fact, that is his first catch. And again, just split wide to the right. He's going to run a slant play. And what a nice throw by Chris Caldwell. Dillon makes a nice catch down about the knees and a big first down. But I'd say Dillon's first catch.
Caldwell back to pass, looking for the fade, and Falkenstein is tripped up. Should be no flag on that. Gordon with some nice coverage.
That's just incidental contact. And as you said, Gordon had the inside position and not able to adjust. But what was that? An early kind of a rocky start for the Beallsville passing attack. Now I have Chris Caldwell now 11 of 19. Here's that good coverage again. That's just thrown up in the air. Let the receiver adjust. Falkenstein tried to adjust. Got his feet tangled with Gordon. Incidental contact, no flag, incomplete pass.
Dillon, that was his first catch of the game. He has 652 yards on the season and 36 catches and 6 touchdowns. Caldwell looking to the near side for Falkenstein, and it's tipped off his fingers and out of bounds. So that's going to be incomplete and bring up a third down and 10. This
is a situation that Beallsville has not been in very many times here since the opening stages of the game, and I'm talking about 3rd and 10. That ball was catchable just off the top of Falkenstein's hands. Really maybe the first thing he's had a hand on tonight that he has not caught.
When this offense gets into a rhythm, man, are they good. Right now they're looking at a 3rd and 10 as the 23 was about 8:13 left in this third quarter. Fakes the handoff, and he's looking for Dillon, but there's a great play by Gordon to knock it away. That was great coverage and instincts by Gordon.
Well, he didn't fall for that play fake. Just for an instant there, I lost possession. But Caldwell, faking the running play and then hotting it on his hip. And then, I say, Gordon took a gamble, breaking in front. And I'm not sure if he was able to get a hand on that or not, but it was incomplete. So this puts Beallsville now in a 4th down at the 23-yard line.
And it looks like they're going to have to go for this one. Kind of too far to kick a field goal, so they got to go for the 4th down and 10 at around the 22-yard line. It's tipped and incomplete.
Defensive end Preston Kilburn looked like with the hands up, able to make that play. So after Beallsville started to move the ball, 4 straight incompletions, Monroe Central holds. but Beallsville able to get a little bit of time off the clock. Now just 8 minutes left.
That was a big play by Monroe Central's defense right there.
When
to
the
stop that fourth down catch.
When the quarterback's hands go up into that throwing position, defensive linemen are taught to put their hands up, and Kilburn just the hands up, and it was in that passing lane and able to knock it away.
So Monroe Central on the turnover of downs, 1st and 10 at the 23. 8 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Trying to make a comeback. Hands it off. And a good effort to get up around the 31-yard line was Jones.
But there's still enough time left. I don't think Monroe Central is just going to completely abandon that running game. They need to do some different things. But the clock will very soon become a factor. It's 21-9 Beallsville. And if Monroe Central is not able to get something on the board during this possession, their chances are going to go even very slim.
7:40 left on the clock in the fourth quarter, and it's winding down. 2nd and 3 at the 31. Caldwell pacing on the sidelines. Joris looking for that first down. I'd expect them to pass here, but they hand it off. That's Wilson who picks up the first down at around the 37-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10. Monroe Central at the 37-yard line, but the clock is a factor right now.
And Beallsville could almost afford to give up a little bit of yardage on the ground. I think Dave Caldwell and his defensive coordinator, Steve Pritchard, are going to play things a little bit loose there, just not get beat by that big passing play.
Jay Sirkos's team needs 12 points, 2 scores to get
Wilson,
back in this game.
Wilson almost broke that to the outside, which could have been a big play, even though it looked pretty basic.
Joris back to pass. Got pressure, but a nice block. But he's still trapped back there. And that's another big play by Matt Brown in the backfield. These defensive linemen have been in the backfield all night, it seemed like.
That may be about the 5th time that Joris has been sacked. And he's going to pick up a block right there, but they're able to step away for an instant. But then Blue Devils all over the place and able to make the big sack, and this puts Monroe Central into a real long situation.
Blue Devils with nice coverage downfield. We're looking at a 2nd and 18 at the 30 for Monroe Central. And Caldwell back, and there's a fumble. Caldwell with the big play to cause the fumble. We don't know if it's a fumble yet. They're rolling him down.
It looks like he was down, but that's going to be a loss of some 12 yards on the play, and Monroe Central all of a sudden is going the wrong direction.
Yes, they are. There's only 5 minutes and 50 seconds on this clock. And then Monroe Central is staring a 3rd and a long 29 in their face.
It just looked like Chris Caldwell was untouched as he went in there, and it had some help from his friends, but that's about 6 or 7 sacks now by Beallsville's defensive front.
And this is Jones getting to the outside, but a great tackle by Wells. Chris Wells makes a nice tackle up around the 32-yard line to save, which maybe could have been a big play.
Well, when you have that many yards to go, you just hope to run a play, and maybe somebody would get lucky on that. But, Jones showed some good speed to the outside as he breaks it there. But as you say, the pursuit, and Wells, come a long way from the middle of the field, made the high tackle at the shoulder pads. But that's going to bring up 4th and long after the 2 sacks, about 4th and 16. So the clock now reading inside 5 minutes. Beallsville with a 12-point lead in really nice shape.
Gordon back to punt. Another bad snap, but fields it okay and gets the punt off. Schaefer receives it and threw his hands, and he holds on to it. He had fumbled that ball and couldn't recover it. It's taken him a while to get it, but finally jumps on top of it. And Miller was back there to almost make a big play for Monroe Central.
Well, you'll see on this replay after the low snap, a nice kick by Gordon. Schaefer's going to bobble it as he goes back and then reach for it once, twice, and just ahead of number 88, Sam Miller. And that could have been a very costly turnover. And that's the one thing Beallsville has to stay away from now with 4:35 remaining in the game. And that's the turnover in their own end of the field.
So Belleville looking at a 1st and 10. Handed off up the middle. Couple yards on the play. They give it to the fullback.
Again, Beallsville just wants to run the ball, keep that clock moving. Monroe Central with 2 timeouts. But, Beallsville probably feels like, barring some kind of a mistake and a turnover, they have enough points.
There's a shot of Dave Caldwell on the sidelines. He has a comfortable 12-point lead with about 4 minutes left in this game.
And standing beside him is one of his offensive assistants, John Yoakum, who is one of the nicest quarterbacks that Beallsville had back in his playing days.
Well, this rivalry goes back to, 1958, as Caldwell sets the pass, and he just threw that ball away. But this rivalry goes back to 1958. Monroe Central leads the all-time 20-19 with 3 ties in there, and that's Jason Costa not happy on the sideline.
What he's arguing about there, as Beallsville appeared to have nobody in the pattern, Caldwell, under some pressure, just threw it downfield as far as he could, and there wasn't a receiver or a defensive back within 15 to 20 yards. And he's asking, why is that not intentional grounding? There's no receiver in the area.
There's a couple plays tonight that he hasn't been really happy with. A couple of calls. Caldwell in the shotgun. 3:47 left in this game, and then he has a 12-point lead. And they're still throwing the ball, and that was a nice catch by Trevor Schaefer off the tip. They're going to have a first down up around the 43-yard line.
I'm a little bit surprised by the fact that they have thrown the ball the last couple of plays. But, when you do that the best, keep doing it. This ball is tipped by a Seminole. I think Conrad or Brown, I couldn't tell for sure, but Schaefer making that catch, and it's a big first down. Beallsville will be able to take a couple more minutes off the clock.
I guess Coach Caldwell doesn't want to give Monroe Central the ball back again, so he had to pass there. Now, Chris Caldwell just hands it off, and he gets nowhere.
But
that was Kinsey.
More importantly, the clock continues to run, and I'm sure Beallsville is not really interested in the yardage at this point in time.
They just want to run the clock out. 3 minutes to go and counting. Second down and 9 at the 43 for Beallsville. Blakely coming into the game with the play. They're just going to try to run as much time as they can. The Seminoles have 2 timeouts, but are down by 12 points with 2:45 left in this game. Caldwell keeps it himself up the middle, picks up about 3 or 4 yards to bring up a third down.
A lot of times, Rich, I don't believe that that's probably a called play from the sidelines. I'd say Chris Caldwell has the option of checking off, and he's able to get in behind his center if he sees the linebackers edging to the outside and just run for a short gain. But, here 3 or 4 yards is a very, very good gain.
Well, Beallsville, they've won the OVAC 8 times already and won the PVC 7 of the past 14 years. Caldwell, 3rd and 5 at the 47. He's going to option to the near side, and he picks up the first down. Wilson with the tackle. But that is the ball game, folks. 1:47 left, and they're just going to run the clock out here.
Well, on the play before, when they run that sneak, the quarterback just goes in behind his center, Matt Brown. But here's a nice job. Run the option. No need to pitch as you're able to get to the outside. And, Wilson making the play. But, a 10-yard pickup and a big first down. And Beallsville has just really, since the middle of the second quarter, controlled all aspects of this game.
This Beallsville team really experienced on offense. And Monroe Central on the younger side. They got a lot of underclassmen starting as Kinsey takes it to about the 40-yard line. So expect Jay Costa on this Monroe Central team to get right back in it and bounce back next year.
Well, this game has kind of been the whole season in a nutshell, as Monroe Central has played some really good teams close. They lost a 1-point game to Shadyside, 13-12. Shadyside has 1 loss. They lost on the last play of the game to Barnesville, and I could go on and on. But, they've been able to play good people close, but just not quite good enough.
Well, it looks like Beallsville, with 1:07 on the clock, is going to even up the series between the 2 teams in this long rivalry that dates back all the way to 1958. He's scrambling to the right, breaks a couple tackles to the sideline, and out of bounds up around the 35-yard line.
But that's what makes him so effective.
with 1:07 on the clock is going to even up the series between the two teams in this long rivalry that dates back all the way to 1958. He's scrambling to the right, breaks a couple tackles to the sideline, and out of bounds up around the 35-yard line.
That's what makes him so effective, is he didn't have a receiver. He just runs the ball, and after a couple of early sacks, he's done a nice job, and he's going to be very near that first down. And just, Beallsville is now just going to run the clock inside 1 minute, and the Blue Devils are going to win this game, and they'll await word of whether or not they will be at home next week, and this improves their chances quite a bit. They may be at home for the second year in a row in the opening round of the playoffs.
Well, it's definitely an advantage here to be at home. This crowd really pumped up right now as they can just see 24 seconds away from another victory.
And they're going to win another OVAC championship also with this win, and an outright PVC title.
10 seconds and winding down on the clock. 9, 8. Game's pretty much over right now. Beallsville wins this game 21-9 as the players run out on the field. That is your ball game, folks. The Blue Devils win it 21-9 here at Blue Devil Stadium. And man, the player of the game in my eyes is Kyle Falkenstein. Unbelievable today. 4 great catches and a bunch of touchdowns.
Well, he had the touchdowns, as he gets to the end zone 3 times. And just, as we said, every time he touched the ball, it seemed to be a big play. He's going to be well over 100 yards receiving. And really, Monroe Central did a pretty nice job against the big gun receivers of Beallsville and Schaefer and Dillon. But Falkenstein comes up and made big plays. A lot of it because of the good throws from his quarterback, Chris Caldwell, who was given outstanding amount of time after the first game.
Like you said before, it's just been a disappointing year. It's just been a disappointing year for this Monroe Central team. They've been in a bunch of games, and they lose. They find themselves losing by just a couple points. Here they lose by 12, but I'm sure Jay Sirkos is going to have this team together next season. I mean, he hasn't had a losing season since 1986. This year, they go 2-8. But Beallsville, unbelievable, 9-1. They finished their season. Only one loss, only lost to Shadyside. And they win this game, our WTRF game of the week between Beallsville and Monroe Central. The Blue Devils win 21-9. Stick around, we'll be back right after this with some post-game comments. Welcome back to Blue Devil Stadium. The Blue Devils win this big rivalry game 21-9, and it was because of a big day by Kyle Falkenstein. Chris Caldwell, not the numbers that you usually see from this guy, but he didn't get this offense start going until pretty much the second half of this game.
Well, not an outstanding game by the quarterback Caldwell, but he's going to end up in the 200-yard range passing the ball. But as you said, Kyle Falkenstein really making big play after big play. He gets to the end zone all 3 times for the Blue Devils. He's going to be in the neighborhood of 150 yards of receptions. In the first quarter, I believe Beallsville was probably negative yardage. But once they made the adjustments to the Monroe Central defense, and that defense did a great job early in the game, but then, especially in the second half, it was all Beallsville.
Well, Monroe Central took the early lead, the early 9-0 lead on a Caldwell slipped in the end zone, and they got the safety. And then Joris to Conrad 20 yards on a 4th down and 3 call to made it 9-0. Then Caldwell to Falkenstein, 18 yards. Then Caldwell to Falkenstein again, 37 yards. And then Caldwell to guess who? Falkenstein. That was good for 15 yards and the 21-9 victory.
And both teams had opportunities to put the ball in the end zone during the course of the game. I know of at least 2 times that Monroe was down inside the 10, not able